Alright, hello everyone, I'm Rebecca from the Glitch Stitchery, and this is Mike, aka Mr. Glitch. We're here today with another coffee tasting. This one is another one of the ones I brought from that Japanese shop. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce this company. I couldn't find a pronunciation, but I think it's something along the lines of Dutor or Douter, Dutor. So Dutor Enjoy Aroma Variety Drip Pack. So I made all 4 of the varieties in it, and what I did is I did not tell Mike which one's which. So we're gonna taste them and he's gonna see if he can figure out which one is which. So there's a mellow, an aroma, a mocha, and a Kilimanjaro. Other than that, we went to the bookstore this week and got some books for me to learn some new stitches out of and other things. So we're gonna look at those after we're done trying the coffee. So, you wanna get started? I know you're not huge on games, but I thought this one would be fun, so. Now each of the packets was a different color. Brown, yellow, green, blue.
Yeah.
You can use the color to try to figure it out if you want. In terms of what I mixed in for creamer, for pour-over style coffees, I tend to use sweetened condensed milk. So each one has 1 ounce of sweetened condensed milk in it. I just like the flavor. In terms of looks, they all look the same, but I know it's because of the condensed milk.
I don't taste milk on anything.
It's not actually chocolate, whatever it is. It's meant to be some sort of dark roast. That's
You just give it up.
No, Mike, I didn't. I'm trying to see if there's any writing on the back of any of these, which it's all in Japanese. So, yeah, they don't actually have anything written on them in English, so you can look at them if you want.
What you said.
The mocha one is just meant to be a dark roast. It's not meant to actually have chocolate in it. So, mellow, aroma, mocha, and Kilimanjaro.
You know which one's which.
I have the colors written down. I looked it up on their website.
Kilimanjaro. Let me see. Mocha is the brown.
This one?
Kilimanjaro. I'm gonna say green.
Are you reading over my shoulder? Not that one makes sense.
I forgot the other 2.
Mellow and aroma.
Aroma blue and mellow yellow.
Can you read Japanese and like haven't told me? You got them all right.
I did?
Yeah. I did not expect that. See? Mellow yellow, aroma blue, mocha brown, Kilimanjaro green. And I did not show him this. I wrote this like a minute ago in my room without him watching, so. Dang it. Well, now I get to taste them all. I'm looking forward to it. Did you have any favorites?
No, they all. Honestly, they all tasted the same to me.
So you just based on color of the packet then?
Right. Well, the blue and the yellow were.
I like the yellow.
I like them. They tasted good. I'm not saying that. I think Kilimanjaro, I think green. Africa. Unless Kilimanjaro is not in Africa.
I'm not good at geography, but I think it is. Alright. Now, see, to me, they do all taste different. To me, the green one has a fruity undertaste. The brown one definitely tastes like a dark coffee, but not like a mocha dark coffee, although I think it's supposed to. It just tastes like a dark coffee. I really like the yellow one. It tastes like a blonde roast, which, considering it's called the mellow, it might be a blonde roast. I like that one.
More likely.
The blue one just tastes like a standard everyday coffee. It doesn't taste special in any way, but it's not bad. Just like coffee. These are actually really affordable too, so we could definitely buy these again. Although I want to see if I can find a whole pack of these ones, because I like the yellow best. The container only comes with 2 each of each color for the variety pack. All right, cool. So that is about it for the coffee tasting. It's short and sweet apparently, because I thought you would like dicker over it longer and stretch it out. You got it right on the first try. Anyway, so Barnes & Noble. We don't go buy books very often because every time we do, we end up spending way too much money on books. We can't help ourselves. No, it was you two.
I did not spend that much.
You got at least 4 books that were just yours. And they were bigger books.
1, 2,
magazine counts.
3, 4.
Yeah, I said 4. So
I was counting in my head. I was thinking of them.
Right. Most of what we bought was manga. So I have a whole stack of manga to read later at another point. And then Mike also bought like auto repair because that's what he cares about. And I don't know if short comics are your thing, but the What's Michael series is really funny. They're about a cat. He was reading it on the way home from the bookstore, just laughing hysterically, so there's that. This is the second one. We already had the first one. And then I bought stuff for the channel. So, well, not everything's for the channel, because I did finally buy that cookbook I wanted, Moon Cakes and Milk Bread, because I want to make some of the egg tarts and stuff I keep seeing on Instagram, and they look really good. I have another cookbook coming from Simply Asian Baking is the Instagram handle. I don't remember her actual name, but that one arrives in June. This one was pretty well recommended as well though, so I picked this one up. And I got these 2. So this one is for the next video in this series. So this is Sashiko for making and mending. 15 simple Japanese embroidery projects. I've never done embroidery, but I have an entire kit of embroidery stuff that I found while I was moving, and I've never used it, so I want to try. So that's the next one. And for this one, I got Japanese Knitting Stitch Bible. There was actually 2 different similar books. So one of them had a red knit object on the cover, and then this one has a white one. And I wasn't sure which one to get, and my sister was with me shooting pictures for her Bookstagram. And I was like, which one should I get? And she was like, well, it has Bible in the name, so you should probably get that one. It's probably more something. What was the word she used? More complete, maybe? Something along those lines.
Maybe.
Flipping through it, this looks really hard. I didn't really look through it at the store. Oh dear God, these look hard. It's almost entirely like cabling type stuff. But the edgings at the back, I think, are at my skill level. I can do some of these, I think. Those could be fun. Alright, so I'm going to take this into my studio and look at it more deeply, and we will figure out what we're going to do for a project. So yeah, I will be right back. I just need to move the camera. So, 1 minute. Alright, so a lot has changed since I filmed the first part of this video. I'm gonna show you, so this was the first book that I bought, and we did look through that in the first part of the Japanese coffee tastings, and we tried out some that stitch in it that made that really pretty hat. Love this book. It's a great book. This is the one that I bought at the beginning of this video. So I went to the bookstore, picked out this book, did not look through it at all. This is an incredibly beautiful book, okay? but this is so far out of my skill level. I'm going to be putting this book on the shelf, and in a few years, when I feel like I might know what I'm doing, I'm going to attempt this. But this is not a today project. This is a year or two from now project. So after that, I ordered 2 more books because obviously I needed something I could actually try for this video. All right. So this one was the other one that I had seen in the bookstore that I almost got instead. Red cover. So Japanese knitting stitches from Tokyo's Kazikobo Studio. I'll have the full names and authors in the description if you want to look up any of these books on your own. But this one is also on the difficult side, although there's a lot more going on in it that I think I could do. And they're also very beautiful. These books are just really beautiful in general. I look forward to really digging in. This one I think has more in it that I'll be able to attempt. And specifically, there's this part where it uses purl stitches to create pictures in the knitting, and I think I can do that. There's other stuff too that I'm pretty sure I can attempt reasonably soon. So this one is going to probably be getting some more use. And then I also got this one. So this one is a mix of knitting and crochet. It's mostly knitting and a little bit of crochet. I would not say that the crochet is particularly inspiring, but the knitting portions are fabulous. Again, a lot of really cool textured parts. Where is it? Oh, I bookmarked it. I was thinking I could do this. I might try that. I think this is the one I'm going to be trying for this video. This one here. Let me make sure I can see it. Yep. So if you have this book, it's number 72. None of them have names, they just have numbers. I also really like the color work section of this book. I think in the future I can probably work with these, but more interestingly, because of how they're mapped out, I think I could also use them as weaving drafts. I like this one. What else? Yeah, this one is like mind-blowingly cool for me. I want to do that. So we're gonna do this. So yeah, I have quite the collection of books now because I wanted to make sure I had ones that were actually at the right skill level so I could give them a shot. And while I was looking at them, and this goes for the Sashiko book too, which I don't have on my desk right now, but they're all by Tuttle Publishing. And when I read the back of these, where is it? Tuttle Publishing, books to span the East and West. So the reason I found this interesting is that they were founded in 1832 in Rutland, Vermont, which is where my family is from. And I just wonder if in my times visiting my family, I've passed by their offices or anything. They're not there anymore. They're, where is it? North Clarendon, Vermont. But still, it's entirely possible that I've been by their offices and just never even realized it. So that's kind of funny to me. Literally, like, every Japanese craft book that was translated and brought to the US that I've seen was from Tuttle. So I don't know, just something interesting. So I am going to go get my yarn ready, and we are going to try number 72. And hopefully I can figure it out. I'm not necessarily great at charts, so one moment. All right, so I blocked up most of the page because, frankly, I don't want to like ruin the book for you or give you too much of the book if you don't already have it. And, well, this is the only thing I could find on my desk quickly enough to cover it. This is some felt for a different project. Anyway, I picked this one because it is entirely knit and purl stitches. It says the repeat is 10 stitches and 20 rows. So let's see if I understand this correctly. The sideways lines are purls and the up and down ones are knits, right? So yeah, I think I get it. Okay. I am going to try to knit this little repeat square right here. I just picked some DPNs because they're the shortest needles I have, and I didn't want to have anything too long and annoying to work with. And for the yarn, I'm using some of the yarn I hand dyed in a recent dye video. I can link to that as well. Let's see, 10 stitches. Most people have like a border, right? So I think I'll cast on 18 stitches, and then there'll be 4 stitches on each side as a border, just so I can see what I'm doing. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, and we'll just knit the first row normally, just so, I wonder if I should do 2 pattern repeats, actually. So that would be 10 more stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So side note, I really like how this yarn dyed up. I wasn't sure I would, but I do. Hopefully you can see this in frame. Yeah, the camera is very far above my head at the moment, so I wasn't sure how visible it was. All right, I'm gonna go to time lapse. We're gonna knit a few rows, and then we'll get to the actual pattern. So I am 6 rows in, and I had to take a snack break. Unfortunately, my hands were shaking pretty bad and I couldn't really hold the needles very well. But hopefully, in a few minutes, I'll be able to get back to it and get through the 20 rows of the pattern repeat. So I ended up taking a picture with my tablet so I could make the pattern I was working on larger. And I did end up writing it out just because this is how I am used to looking at things. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this chart. I'm just not used to it yet. It's a completely new language for me. But I do see how this would be very useful. And especially if it was like printed out on a piece of paper so I could mark it off with a marker as I finished rows, I feel like that would be very useful. Looking at it from a perspective of, is this book useful? I'm gonna sit down. Ow. I think very much so. These are pretty easy to read, technically speaking. They're very clear. Even if I am not great at charts, I understand what I'm looking at, so that's great. And it's really important to have these sort of books on hand, because they're not gonna, I think there might be some actual patterns at the end, but for the most part, they're not about teaching you exactly how to make a specific finished object. They're about giving you the building blocks so that you can design your own finished objects. And for me, that is way more useful than a book of patterns. So every time I see something along these lines, I try to pick them up because I do find them more useful than just actual pattern books. And this one in particular, and the other 3 that I showed you, are really nice references. They have good pictures. They're written reasonably, there's not actually that much writing, it's mostly charts, but they're fairly clear. Mostly I'm just in love with the pictures. They're just really nice pictures. So I'm going to try to get through the rest of this, and then I guess that'll be the end of this video once I finish this up. And I hope that you can forgive me for rambling a little bit. But I really don't want to show you too much of the books because it's not like I wrote these. It's not my place to show you everything that's in them. But if you're looking for recommendations of stitch dictionaries to pick up, I do recommend, at the very least, the 1000 Japanese Knitting and Crochet Stitches, because I think that's a good place to start. And then the other 3 have increasing levels of difficulty, but I will put all of them in the description if you want to take a closer look. All right, I'm going to get back to this in a minute or two after my blood sugar adjusts. That's not a good feeling, but one moment. My swatch is done, and I think I was actually successful at following the pattern correctly, so I'm pretty proud of myself at the moment, because this is by far the most complex knitting thing I have done so far. Mainly just because it's a 20-row repeat, which for me is really long. I really love this texture though, it's so cool. If I had used a solid yarn, you might have been able to see it better, but you can see the kind of like zigzaggy pattern that builds up as you go. So yeah, this is the full repeat. I do want to see if I can adapt this to work in the round, because I think this would be just a really cool hat pattern. I'm not sure how many pattern repeats you'd get in before the end of the hat. Maybe like 2.5. 20 rows. It depends. If it was a worsted weight hat, then yeah, probably about 2.5. Bulky weight, maybe just 2. I don't know. I'll experiment with it. That is a problem for another day, because this video is already longer than I wanted. So I'm going to call that good. I'm definitely going to be referencing all of those new books in the future, just because it's so great to have so many more building blocks to use when I'm designing projects and figuring out what I want to do with different yarns. I mean, I would never be able to think of this on my own. And while it is great to have all the online resources, it's also nice to have a few books with really good pictures and just flip through them and come up with ideas that way. So definitely like my new books. And I really like this. I don't know. I'm so proud of it. It's just a swatch, but I'm so proud of it. I might just pin it on the wall for a bit. And I know how silly that is, but yeah, might just pin it up. Alright, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon.